Good morning. Welcome to the final ops reading of this incident. This is for Sunday, September 9th. There's been no change to the objectives. And with that, I'll turn it over, as usual, to our meteorologist.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Chris McKinney with the weather. Start out by taking a look at the satellite loop this morning. And it looks much as it has this last few days with our upper level trough slowly moving into the state today. You'll notice some of the drier air that's starting to move in over portions of the far west Texas and the Panhandle and the Northwest Branch, but we still have this Pacific moisture tap across the southern half of the state. Development around the hill country in San Antonio this morning. Taking a look at the radar loop, you can see all the thunderstorms down there across the same area. This area is generally going to shift to the east, while the overall activity will move further south as that front sinks southward towards the coast today. Much drier conditions expected across the Panhandle, West Texas, and into Northwest Branch later on today. Lightning strikes over the last 12 hours. Again, all the activity generally along and ahead of the cold front this morning. And across much of the state. Fortunately, we did have some localized flash flooding in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, some fatalities and vehicles associated with that. So again, if you're out and about driving today and you hit one of these thunderstorms, just be aware they can produce very heavy rainfall rates and reduce visibility and localized flooding. Rainfall over the last 14 days, again, beneficial rainfall for much of the state. Some of these areas in South Branch that haven't seen as much will pick up that rainfall today and tomorrow. Again, percent of normal looking very good across much of the state, although we are now seeing some areas of the Panhandle Branch that are getting back down towards 25% or less of normal for the last 2 weeks. Weather highlights, again, showers and thunderstorms today, generally along and south of the I-10 corridor, and going into tomorrow, that'll shift towards the immediate coastal areas. High temperatures today, generally 2 to 3 degrees cooler than yesterday for most areas, mid to upper 80s for most of the state, low 90s in far south Texas, where again, due to those high temperatures and high moisture values, we do have the potential to see heat indices in excess of 100 degrees. Min-RHs today, 30s and 40s out west as we start to dry out, 50 plus for the rest of the state. Winds today, generally northeast across much of the state, 8 to 12 behind that front. A small area closer to South Texas where we'll still see east-southeast winds ahead of the front this morning, and then becoming south about 10 to 15 across the Panhandle Branch today. Again, shower and thunderstorm chances pretty much suppressed to the southern half of the state, only about a 5 to 10% chance of precipitation for the northwestern half of the state. Here's a forecast of what the radar will look like actually later this morning, again showing this area of showers and thunderstorms continuing for the next several hours. So portions of the eastern hill country will see anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain through midday today before this starts to move off to the east and the south. Rainfall forecast for the rest of the day, again, widespread totals anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches across this area. Localized areas could see 2 to 3 inches on those higher thunderstorm totals. Over the next 7 days, you'll see little to no precipitation for portions of west and the Panhandle branches, but again, along the coast, still expecting to see 4 to 5 inches in places from the Houston metro area southward over the next 7 days. Looking at the tropical outlook, we do have 3 tropical storms in the Atlantic. We have one area of development that's going to be no concern to us. Isaac will expected to move into the Eastern Caribbean as a hurricane, and then beyond that may weaken and move into Central America, but this is certainly the one to watch for Texas. Helene will turn north and pose no threat to the United States, and unfortunately it's looking more and more likely as if Florence will pose a threat to the eastern United States. Florence is currently a tropical storm. It's expected to rapidly intensify through the day today, regaining hurricane status and actually becoming a major hurricane, a Cat 3 or greater, sometime tomorrow as it continues to track to the northwest. Current forecast track brings it into southeastern North Carolina around midnight on Thursday, although the impacts to the area will begin well before that. In addition to the wind, the big thing with this will be rainfall. A lot of the areas across eastern North Carolina up into eastern Virginia could see anywhere from 5 to maybe 10 inches of rainfall across the area due to this storm. So again, several threats for the eastern United States with Florence. That's all I have for the weather this morning.
Good morning, Shane Krim, Operations. Well, it's been a long 8 months, but we finally made it to the final ops briefing. No fires since the last report. The lineup for today is 2 engines with overhead in Beeville. 2 dozers that have been in Beeville will be demobbing today. We had a Type 2 helicopter released at end of shift last night. For the aviation lineup today, 1 Type 3 and 2 seats will serve their last full shift on duty today. And at the end of shift today, all aviation assets will be released. Starting tomorrow, the main focus in operations is support the logistics section with cleanup at the McGregor ICP. At the end of shift today, the state of Texas will be back to normal local staffing with TFS fire response resources. Thank you.
Morning, John McGee, Safety. Safety had another good day yesterday. No accidents, injuries, or illnesses that we can contribute to our conduct or behavior. And as Op said, 8 months, and I have to say, given all of the people and all of our stuff that has come through Texas over the last 8 months, all the miles driven, all the hours of aircraft flown, all the drops, etc., we had a really very good record. I don't think we had any serious accidents or injuries for the last couple of months. So again, I commend everybody for a good record. Again, that was the leader's intent, was for us to complete this incident with no serious accidents or injuries. So for the most part, we did. Today, let's not lose our focus. Got to keep our heads in the game. Those of you out in the staging area, you got to stay on it. You never know. You might get a fire. If not, and you're demobbing, again, we heard weather, lots of rain, could be heavy, flash flooding. Plan ahead. Watch your driving getting in here so that you can get home and complete the leader's intent. Again, have a good day. Keep an eye on each other. You'll all be back again tomorrow. Have a good one.
Good morning, Shane Krim, IC. As that ops chief said, it's been a long grind. We're at the very end. Everybody needs to get their batteries recharged whenever we get home. Reset your response gear, unpack the Nomex, grab the hurricane gear, and start rehearsing your new acronyms, RSAs, LSAs, PODs, OMG, here we go again. Thank you all for a long run.
And that, I'm proud to say, concludes our last op briefing. I was happy to be here. I hope you all were too. Thank you.